Albania has quickly popped up onto everyone's radar, and last summer I spent 1 week traveling to the north, so I thought I'd share my exact week-long itinerary. The main thing I wanted to do in the north was the Valbonne to Theth hike, which is a day hike over the Albanian Alps and is now my favourite hike I've done in Europe. To start the itinerary, I got the bus from Kotor, Montenegro, across the border to Shkoda, the main city where you start and end the northern Albanian loop. In Shkoda, I stayed at Wanderers Hostel, and through the hostel you can organise everything for your hike, including your transport and accommodation. What you need to know is that you can only bring a small backpack during this loop, literally only a size that you're comfortable to carry for a long day hike, so we left our big bags at Wanderers Hostel and collected them 5 days later. There isn't too much to do in Shkoda, but we did go up to the castle, which had lovely views, and we had some nice food while we were there. The next morning you're up early to get the shuttle bus to the port. Typically most people head straight to Valbonne to start the hike, but we did a detour to a place called Lumishals along the Shala River. The Shala River flows directly from the Albanian Alps, and here you can find crystal clear and also ice cold mountain water. We spent one night here and we stayed in this really beautiful guest house right along the riverside, which was so secluded with their own pontoon to swim and relax on. They do a boat trip every day to Lumishals and can also come collect you from the port, so you just need to let them know what time you want to be picked up. Everything at this guest house was just lovely, and I happily would have spent an extra night here if we had the time. After Lumishals, we had to head back to the same port we originally left from and head down the other leg of the river to Valbonne. The ferry takes 2.5 hours, but we actually missed the ferry, and this nice Albanian man drove us on a speedboat, and then we had to jump on the back of the moving ferry with only 20 minutes to go. We spent one night in Valbonne before the hike, and we organised this accommodation through Wanderers Hostel. It was such a cute little guest house, and they had their own little part of the river to chill along. The next morning is when you start the hike, and the guest house will drop you to the start point of the hike, which is just outside of town. We were the last in the van, so we had to crouch in the boot for this bit. The hike itself takes you to a point of 1,700 meters above sea level, and depending on your fitness, the whole journey to Theth from Valbonne takes anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Honestly, the incline wasn't bad at all, and getting to the summit only takes an hour and a half. The hike after that was fairly leisurely, and it's mainly a slow decline down to Theth. We spent 2 nights in Theth, and the day after the hike walked to the Blue Eye, another great site in Albania's north. Here you can swim or just soak up the views, but keep in mind it's also mountain water, so very cold. The following day we got a shuttle back to Shkoda, which again was organised through our accommodation, and you can just pay the driver directly. Back in Shkoda we collected our bags and we got the bus straight to Tirana for one more night before our flight back to the UK the next day.